Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Justin with AmericanTrucks.com. Today, I'm joined by James to talk about his 2021 Ram 1500. Now, James is rocking the XD Grenade 2. It's a gloss black wheel. 20 by 10 is the size. It's a negative 18 millimeter offset. Tire is a 275 60R20 Goodyear Wrangler Ultra Terrain AT, which works out to be a 33 by 11. And then making it all possible is the MotoFab 2-inch front leveling kit. James, thanks so much for joining me today, sir. Appreciate it. If you can, explain what you were trying to achieve with your truck through this setup.
Well, I wanted something that would be a good ride. It's a daily driver. I commute about 30 miles to work each way, so I wanted something that wasn't going to kill my miles per gallon, but I also wanted it to ride smooth and still look good. So I didn't want to go too wide of a tire because, I wanted to have the capability to go off-road, but to be honest, I'm probably not going to be going off-road. It's a street truck, man, but it still has the capability to do so. I wanted it to ride good. I didn't want the tires to be loud. I didn't want it to kill my gas mileage too bad, even though it's something that does happen once you start lifting trucks and putting bigger wheels and tires on, but it was a combination of things on why I went with this setup.
For sure. All right. Sounds good. Now let's get right into those wheels. Again, we got the XD Grenade 2 in gloss black, 20 by 10, and you got a negative 18 millimeter offset. So first things first, what do you like about this particular wheel?
I've always been a fan of a mesh type wheel, and the color of my truck being the dark gray, I figured a black wheel, you couldn't go wrong. I like the way it looked. I wanted something that everyone didn't have yet at the time, so I haven't seen a lot of people with this particular setup. And then I went with the negative 18 just to have it stick out a little bit. So it wasn't, didn't want to go with the flush look, but I didn't want to have it too far out either.
Yeah, we call that aggressive, man. You get that little bit of poke going on, and You're right. It's not quite flush, obviously not stock, but it's also not way out there like a roller skate, right? So
yeah, man, absolutely.
I hear you. It looks good, man. So how do you think it looks with the truck?
I think it looks good. The black has a little bit of machining on the inside of the spokes, and the way, once it's clean and it's rolling down the street, I get a lot of compliments on it, and nice. I like it a lot.
Nice, James. Now, any reason why you went with the XD wheel in particular, that brand?
I've seen a lot of their wheels, so I know it's a reputable company, and that was the main thing. I wanted a good wheel. Didn't want something that would be that didn't have a lot of history behind it or anything like that. So I went with that company. I know they've made a lot of wheels. I see them on a lot of trucks, different types, different styles. So I knew I couldn't go wrong with that.
Nice. Now, we did talk about that negative 18 millimeter offset. It is aggressive. Why did you go with this style of offset along with the 20 by 10 to give you that poke, as opposed to something that's going to maybe stick into the factory wheel well a little bit more?
I think wheels make or break a setup, to be honest, man. And it's a big commitment. You're spending a lot of money, so you want it to look good. So I figured that just having enough poke, the negative 18 versus, something extreme past the 20 sticking way out, I don't really like that too much, but again, I didn't want it flush either. So I figured that was perfect, kind of right in the middle, just enough.
Yeah, man, the pictures look great. The truck looks awesome. I think you nailed what you were going for sure. What do you think about this current stance with the XDs versus the stock wheel and tire setup?
Oh man, it's like night and day when I put them on. Once I put the leveling kit on there was quite a bit of a gap in the front. Once I put those wheels with that fitment and stagger to them, it filled up the wheel well real good. Don't have any rubbing issues or clearance issues, so it's a perfect fit on that truck.
I like that. That's awesome. We'll get to the suspension here in a bit, but let's get into those Goodyear Wrangler, the Ultra Terrain. It's an all-terrain tire. Again, the 275 60R20, which works out to be a 33 by 11. Well, why did you go with this particular size?
Well, I was looking at, I wanted to go with a bigger tire than what came with the factory. I still wanted to be comfortable riding tire, not a loud tire, and didn't need to really be too loud because I do a lot of highway and back road driving. So I figured that size would be good after doing some research on the internet, and I went with that tire size.
Nice. Now, I think you pretty much already answered why you went with this type of tires. You do a lot of highway driving. You didn't want some big chunky mud terrain on there making all kinds of noise, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
These guys are nice and quiet, you'd say, huh?
Yeah, man. These tires are actually, I'm impressed by them a lot. I've had other tires on other vehicles, but these ones, they ride smooth. and I don't get a lot of noise from them at all. So I would buy them again, and I'm thinking about getting them on my other vehicle as well.
So compared to stock, then you would say it's pretty comparable?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very close. I was shocked how close it was.
Sounds good. Now let's get into the suspension. Again, the MotoFab, the 2-inch front leveling kit. Why did you go with this particular size for your Ram?
I really didn't need it to be lifted too high. I still like comfort was a big deal for me just because of the amount of driving I do. So I just wanted to level it out because I was happy with how high the truck was, but I figured I needed to level it out so I wouldn't have any clearance issues when I put the bigger wheels and tires on there. And I have zero clearance issues. I've never rubbed tight turns, reversing, different angles and things like that. So that lift gave me the clearance I needed with those tires for sure.
How do you think it looks? Wheel, tire, suspension. When you look back at it, what do you say?
Oh man, it was definitely worth it. I love it. Like I say, it made a difference in the truck big time, and I like it a lot.
Is there anything you would have done differently with your setup?
Not right now at the very moment. The only thing I would maybe change is do an upgrade on the suspension, maybe something with the reservoirs on the shocks and things like that, like a full lift, but nothing extreme. I'd still keep it lower, like around the 2-3 inch area, just upgraded shock, beefier shock.
Nice. So that answered my next question too. Is like anything you got down the pipeline here, and it sounds like you maybe a little upgraded damper or suspension, but height-wise, you don't see yourself going too big.
No, not at all. Because I still, I put the wife, she appreciates not having to climb in too high, and I got the kids as well. So.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. That was James again with his 21 Ram 1500. Again, he's rocking the XD Grenade 2s in gloss black. It's a 20x10 negative 18 millimeter offset. Tire, again, is that 275/60R20 33x11 Goodyear Wrangler Ultra Terrain AT. And then again, that MotoFab 2-inch front leveling kit. James, thanks again for joining me, sir. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching. And remember, for all things truck, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.